Good morning, students. Welcome you all in the class of History Civics. Today I am going to just start new chapter from a history syllabus, and that is the period of the second phase of nationalist leaders. Okay, so in this I will tell you about the meaning of the radical or the assertive nationalist. Okay, then the objectives, and then after that we will discuss some of its causes for the emergence of this radical nationalism. Okay, just as the moderate leaders, they were called the early nationalists. So similarly, these radicals, they were known as the assertive nationalists. So don't get confused. So first of all, in this regard, I will tell you what is meant, okay, by this term radical or assertive nationalism. So students, what happened actually, as we all know, the Indian National Congress, it was established, it was founded in the year 1885 AD. Okay, and at that time the leaders of this Indian National Congress, they were moderates, or we can say the early nationalists, who wanted to get their objectives fulfilled, okay, by cooperating with the British government in India. Okay, they were in favor of adopting constitutional methods. Okay, so the control of Indian National Congress remained in the hands of such type of leaders who believed in moderation. But during the rule of Lord Curzon, okay, when Lord Curzon he was appointed as the Governor General of India, as the Viceroy of India, then what happened? He, because of his repressive policies, the British government in India, the differences were created among the leaders of Indian National Congress. Means when Lord Curzon started adopting the repressive policies, then the differences generated among the leaders of Indian National Congress. Now, a group of leaders came into existence, okay, who didn't believe in the sympathy and justice of the British government in India, and these leaders, they were called the radical nationalists or the assertive nationalists. Among the popular assertive leaders, there were Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal. They were the main leaders of assertives. They were the main radical leaders. Okay. Now let us know about that why these leaders were called radicals. What were the reasons that these leaders came to be known as radicals? So first reason, they had actually no faith in British institutions, and it was their opinion, it was their point of view that Britishers had achieved the political power in India by adopting unjust and improper means. Second, they were not in favor of adopting moderate method. Okay, they didn't support the moderate theory of the early nationalists. They believed that Swaraj should be achieved. It is not something which should be begged for. Okay, and they didn't believe in adopting the constitutional methods. Okay, they advocated the adoption of revolutionary methods for the fulfillment of their demands. So these were the reasons because of which these leaders came to be known as radicals. Now let us know about the main objective of the radicals. So the main objective of the radical leaders was to attain complete independence or Swaraj. Okay, now moving ahead, I am going to discuss with you about some of the causes for the rise of these radicals, or we can say the rise of assertive nationalists. So first important cause for the rise of assertive nationalism was disillusionment with the early nationalists. What does it mean? Listen carefully. Actually, we all know, okay, in the previous chapter we all have gone through this topic. So the moderate leaders, they actually tried to get their demands fulfilled by petitions, okay, prayers and request, okay, and they believed that they would get justice there. But what happened? What was the reality? Their expectations were not fulfilled. The Britishers, they turned their ear deaf towards the demands, towards the suggestions of these moderate leaders. Means Britishers ignored the demands which were made by the moderate leaders. So this became the cause for the emergence of radicals. Second cause for the rise of these radicals was the dissatisfaction with the Act of 1892. Okay, what was it? Actually, the moderates, they asked for reforms in the Indian Council Act of 1861. But under the Indian Council Act of 1892, the official members, okay, it still dominated the legislative council, and it failed to satisfy the younger element in the Congress, and they turned to radical means. Okay, now next cause which was quite important for the rise of these radicals was economic exploitation of India. So here I would like to make it clear that since the day Britishers started ruling India, they started exploitation of the country economically. Okay, so in this regard, Britishers just imposed high taxes on the peasants and farmers. Okay, and these farmers, they were just forced to grow some cash crops like tea, cotton, indigo, etc., and various land settlements. They were also just introduced for Britishers, serving the Britishers selfish motives. Then India's world famous handicraft industries started declining. Why? Because of the shortage of raw material and other economic policies of the Britishers. Then British government in India, they were taking every step. They were trying to benefit the British traders and merchants, and India was being used as a surplus market for the finished products of the Britishers and a mere exporter of raw material. Means India, all the raw material for British industries, it was just exported to Britain. Okay, and from Britain the finished products, they were just coming here in India and sold in the Indian market. And the decline of handicraft industries, because of this decline of handicraft industries, what happened? The massive problem of unemployment also emerged in India. Okay, so children, this is all for today. In the next video, I will discuss with you some more important causes which became responsible for the rise of radicals. Till then, have a good day.